Large companies have taken over the world nowadays. And it has caused a lot of issues through day to day life and has become more difficult, causing people to have extra costs, inequality whenever it comes to providers and expenses, priorities, and overall, larger companies have taken advantage of the Commonwealth. But there was once a time where this didn't happen at all. There was a time of net neutrality, which the chances is you're watching this on the internet through an internet service provider such as Verizon, AT&T, anything. And frankly, thank you world for giving us internet, but it's starting to take advantage of us through it because net neutrality, which is the gift upon this land, allows us to have freedoms whenever it comes to the internet, unlike restrictions. See, I've done a lot of research through net neutrality, and I've learned a lot through it, through all of its acts, and the time that we did have net neutrality before 2017, and the time that we lost it altogether. And everyone needs to understand that net neutrality was a luxury that we lost. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly what we lost. See, for everyone to understand, we need to start about what net neutrality really is. Net neutrality was a signed thing where it made the internet, or, the wide web, a free place for everyone. Everyone received equality through their internet service providers, or known as ISPs, which back before 2017, we had. It was amazing and everyone loved it because there was no hidden costs whenever you're trying to get Netflix and there wasn't any issues with it. But now that's changed whenever it comes to getting rid of it in 2017. See, the Electronic Frontier Foundation describes net neutrality as the idea that internet service providers, or ISPs, should treat all data that travels over their internet or networks fairly without improper discrimination in favor of particular apps, sites, or services. Because net neutrality allowed us all to be able to be treated equal and fair. But before we start talking about equality and fairness, we need to go to the bare root of the American way, which is capitalism and competing. And the fact that getting rid of net neutrality makes it a lot harder to compete amongst businesses. So these large companies, AT&T, here in CTC, it makes it harder for smaller companies to be able to compete with these larger ones and have an upstart. A great example is Florin from the Media and Communication magazine stated in 2016, 63.2% of developed census blocks in the United States had only one cable provider. 4.1% had two or three, and 32.7% had none. And it's really astonishing the fact that this isn't a discussion at all. Because the fact that there is no competition and there is no way for companies to start up and make it where there's a better price and a better internet provider is astonishing. Because everyone should be treated equally, and what could do that is through capitalism. But we're stripped of that. But, I've said equality over and over and over again in this speech, and frankly, that is something that without net neutrality, we don't have over the internet. Because internet service providers decide to take whatever the highest dollar is, or whatever they can squeeze out of America and several other countries. See, the lack of equality has become a prominent issue. And Quill and Libra Crystalline both discussed the topic and stated that net neutrality ensures that providers treat all parties equally to support democracy and the interest of the public. Because all of us matter, no matter how small we may be and how hard it may be. We all do, and we all should have a say in this topic. because it's very important to. Because net neutrality allows for everyone to be treated equally and be treated fairly, not the highest bidder, not someone who works for the company, but everyone. But without net neutrality, that's gone, and that's a massive problem. But that's not all that equality faces, and net neutrality and the lack of it has caused the fact that there is no competition is horrible. I've talked about capitalism, but I need to re-incentivize the fact that with capitalism, it can remove all of those hidden fees of using Netflix through your internet provider or those competing companies through making the cost better for the consumer. And it's necessary. See, Bonham from Bardford had this to say on the topic. Competition will make companies compete to better internet speeds for the price. Promoting consumer choice will help monetize private internet services and applications. That's amazing. Being able to add competitions like cell phone companies do nowadays helps it all. And through having the internet with us and having it through our day-to-day life, it's no longer just a common need because not everyone gets it because of these large companies. But now if we let them all compete with one another, it makes the price better and it adds less issues. But now the government and these large companies are taking advantage of the people because they're not informed at all. But it was taken away. And it is horrible that it was. But there are solutions to this issue. Yet I have not talked about many nor discussed it, but there are solutions to this issue. The first one is simply just making it known and making the politicians. Because remember, the government's just governed by the people itself. So if we want something to happen, we can unite together and do it. Which would help. Because according to Florin, the repeal of net neutrality heavily favored ISPs, which I've explained earlier, with no benefits for consumer or even online companies. So it's punishing all of us, yet we don't have a say in it, or we don't say anything about it. Yet we can cause this to be changed as long as the people put this as the hot topic. Because we're in a new age of internet, and we're in a new age of life where the dollar counts, and everyone should get what they deserve. And frankly, everyone deserves better. And another great solution is simply just being active over this issue and protesting and showing the fact that people care about this. Which, a great example of this is in the Electronic Frontier Foundation article, Net Neutrality. It discusses results from protests and activism that helped against paid prioritization and restricting use. Because showing the fact that this is wrong and showing the fact that the people matter more than the dollar makes it where the people are happier and makes it where there's profit and the economy's better. Overall, it helps so much more if we allow net neutrality to come back and everyone's back on an equal standpoint. But it's not like that now because this freedom was taken away. But overall, this is a prominent issue, and I've stated all the problems, and I've stated just a few solutions to this issue. And through this being a horrible thing and causing so much problems through life, we can all change it. So what would you do? Thank you.